Hello, Luigi Tramontana here from Craft Animations. I am going to show you the SphereCam now. The SphereCam is a very useful camera when you want to show things, especially things that move. I love using this camera for those kind of animations. And I will show you a very advanced scene quite soon when I have shown you a little bit about the specifics here, so that you understand what it can do. More specifically, I will use this camera in an advanced scene where I follow a car. Now, the SphereCam has a cross here. It's called the target mesh, and by default it's just a child. The camera is just a child of this. It doesn't have to be. I will actually move this camera outside of this one, so it's not parented to it, because then I can show you stuff here in Maya by rotating stuff like it. Okay, so the thing here is that if we have a look at the parameters, is there are quite a few parameters, but most of them are for the inputs, meaning my input device. So if you haven't watched any other tutorials, I will just explain this very quickly. Now, the input device here, it's what's controlling it, and I'm using a ordinary Logitech dual action gamepad. Here are the buttons and two thumbsticks, and to map it to be used here, just double click on this one. I could have pushed this one also, and what you see here is that it just binds everything to this gamepad, and what we see here, we can move. Okay, so the basic thing here is that around this cross here, the target mesh, you have a sphere, and on this sphere this camera moves, and you can change the size of this sphere, and you can move on this sphere, and you can also, this is quite important now, you can also have the sphere sort of being delayed to what this cross does, so it becomes more of a follow cam. Everything becomes smooth and nice when you follow objects. So those things are quite important. So you can move right and left on the sphere, up and down on the sphere, always looking at the cross, remember that. So it's a sphere and it looks at the cross. Then you have forward and backwards, meaning shrinking or swelling the sphere basically. Then you can also roll, meaning you rotate in the roll direction on the sphere. And then you have the anti-roll regulator. Now this one is quite important actually, because if you push it all the time, you will eliminate the roll. And if you want to be advanced and never have a roll, you can actually go into the anti-roll regulator input and offset it to 1 here, so that it's always pushed in. But I usually like to get a little roll action. It gives nice sort of nice action-packed feel to everything. Okay, so let's just have a look at what happens here when I press record. Okay, so if I move the left thumbstick forward, I will move the camera forward and backwards on the sphere, and it moves faster and faster the further away it comes. And if I move to the right, let's move it closer. If I move to the right, well, I move to the right and left, up and down. And as you saw also, we also have a roll action here. So I could put this one on a roll, like that. And if I now push the anti-roll button, it will anti-roll itself, so that it gets nice and smooth. And the thing I also want to show you here is how quickly it reacts to changes in the position and the rotations of this cross here. And if I just move it to the left here, you will see that there's a slight delay of this camera here. It doesn't move immediately with the cross. Also the same goes for rotation. So as you see here, if I roll it down, you have a delayed effect on it, which means that it will be smooth with respect to rotations of this, and you can also eliminate the roll completely. Just put these to 0 now, and if I check this gyro checkbox here, then it won't react to rotations of this camera, this cross at all. So you see, nothing happens. That's because I don't want to follow the rotations of this one. So what you do here is that you mount this cross to something. It's red, so usually you use that to parent to something. And let's just jump directly into this scene now to show you. Well, maybe I should explain a few more parameters here. Right, so the the enter roll, it has a response factor also, so this one is how quickly you do that. The other parameters here are just for the input parameters. So as with all other tools, if you change the response factor on this right left, for example, then you change the response factor is how quickly it reacts to your changes here that you do, and also what the maximum value, which means how fast shall I move to the right and left when I move my thumbstick here. And the same goes for the rest here. It's always the same with our tools. So with that being said, I will jump to the scene here. I will actually delete some objects. Now this scene here can be found on our home page, and it's a very, very good scene because it's very complex, and it really shows you the power of Craft Director Studio. But I will delete some objects here because I know it runs a bit slow otherwise. So you see here I have a SphereCam mounted to the 4-wheel extended, and what I didn't mention is that this SphereCam actually has to be underneath when it comes to this tree here, because we simulate from top to bottom, and if it's underneath the 4-wheeler, then it means that it's dependent on the 4-wheeler. It follows the 4-wheeler, so therefore it is dependent on this one moving first, and then this one moves. Just a little detail there. Okay, so this scene here now, let's also hide the high polys and that and those. Okay, so if I move in on the camera, you see that this is just a child of the car now. And if I just hit record here, you will see it in action. And I jump into the SphereCam and off we go. And as you see here, I have the gyro mode activated, and I just move around this car. You see, you get these awesome looking circular motion kind of movements here. So you see here, I do this with such ease that it's ridiculous, and it just looks awesome immediately. So this camera is something that I use very often when it comes to these kinds of animations. Yeah. And I would actually attach this cross if I used a state machine, which is a free utility that we have. Then I can switch between different objects in real time and fly around them. So this is especially good in industrial design and stuff. So keep in mind to use the state machine, and then you attach this cross here to the current state object, and then you will have a fun time. Okay, so that's actually all I'm going to show you. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and good luck. Bye bye.